All right, let's get started. So, welcome to the Startup Teardown. Today I'm on the call with Ruben from Bidsketch. Ruben, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what your role is with Bidsketch.
Sure. Thanks for inviting me to this. So I'm Ruben Gamez, and I'm the founder of Bidsketch. Bidsketch is a proposal web application that's used by freelancers, consultants, and agencies. It's mostly client services based businesses, but we do have some product based businesses that use it as well.
Oh, cool. Cool. So they pay you, and then they get value out of it by creating proposals that they'll send out to generate their business.
Right, to get new clients.
Cool. And I guess they're pretty effective with that, aren't they? I mean, you've got 261 million in earnings.
Yep. A lot of people start to use it to reduce the amount of time that it takes to create proposals and to present a little bit more of a professional image. But what they also find is that they actually, on average, win more deals. The deals that they win also get turned around much faster.
Oh, that's really cool. And they do that because the proposals are super professional, or?
Well, it's a few things. So it's a little bit more of a professional process, but also it's really easy to present optional fees, right? Or give choices to customers instead of just like one price point. So that by itself increases the amount of proposals that they win. The other thing is that they can sign electronically, right? So that makes it much faster and way easier, right? They just click on the accept button while they're viewing it and then sign it. Instead of traditionally, they'd have to get it in an email, print it out, sign it, scan it back in, and then fax it or email it back or whatever.
Right. So Bidsketch just makes the whole process much easier to do.
Yeah, from both sides.
Very cool. And how does someone find out about Bidsketch?
So people find out a lot of different ways. Let's see. I'll pick the top three. So the top three is that they're searching for something related to writing proposals or for template or something like that. That's one of the ways. The other one is through another website, like a referral or a partner or something like that. They click on a link or an integration, right? Mm-hmm. And the last, well, I guess these all sort of work together, right? Because often when somebody clicks on a link from a referral site, they land on the page, and then they'll go and they'll search either the company or stuff like that. And the other ways in which they actually end up signing up is through an email list or the blog.
Okay. Yeah, those are all pretty good ways. And do you guys have much competition in the area of proposals?
Yeah, it's pretty competitive. There's new proposal products coming up all the time. Not many of them last because it's so competitive, probably. So it's hard to get traction in the space. There are a handful of products, just like 3 or so, that have stuck around.
Okay. Would you feel comfortable? I mean, we had the website pulled up here. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that just based on the competition you're saying, you've probably learned a lot and made some changes to the presentation that you do on the homepage. Can you talk a little bit about what you've learned from how the competition has changed the presentation or the sales page?
I don't really change my content or copy based off of the competition because you don't you can't really tell. Like if you look at the competition, you see that they're using some headline, and then this changes, and then they're positioning themselves that way. You have no idea how truly effective that is, right?
Yeah.
I have no way of looking at their data to see this. So generally, I changed my copy based off of just surveying customers, having conversations with them, and doing a lot of split testing. Is the way that I do. And even like looking at the apps that don't get, the proposal apps that don't get traction and eventually go out of business, generally they're probably going out of business not because of their failure to their marketing site to convert people, but probably and I've talked to a couple of them afterwards to have approached me to buy them. Once I start to look at the numbers, it's generally they're not getting enough traffic, number one.
Yep.
And then, maybe sometimes conversions are low on the marketing site, but within the app, they're not converting enough from trial to paid, so the app itself isn't delivering enough value.
Okay. So the first thing I see when I come to Bidsketch here, it says create professional client proposals, but how do I get to see what that looks like? Is there any way to do that without signing up for a trial?
To see what a proposal looks like?
Yeah. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, there used to be. I was split testing a way that only allowed you to get a sample before you could even sign up for a trial. So I just finished doing that split test. And basically, that box right there, the envelope that you see, was where you entered your email, and instead of starting a trial, you actually got a sample that showed you exactly what a proposal looks like, and took you to the client landing page and showed you what that looks like.
Right.
As well. So because with a credit card up front, that process worked really well. That was that worked better than any traditional SaaS landing page or home page that I tested against it. But I recently also tested removing credit cards from the sign-up process. And after I did that, so the friction point was moved from the very front, right, up front during the sign-up process to later on. And in doing that, I just convert more people when I ask them to sign up for a trial instead of doing the sample now, given that the process has changed that way.
All right, but isn't there still friction if we put the email address in here, then isn't this still a form of friction? Because you're making me make a lot of choices here before I even get started.
You're having to enter your information to create a trial. So people that want to see more about the product, or before they actually sign up, will go to the features page or something like that. But basically, getting the sample didn't do as well in not just trials but also paid customers.
Boy, that's really interesting. Why do you think that is?
So in trials, I know why, because I basically removed a step in the funnel, right? So I shortened that funnel. And in paid customers, most likely, because it could be the case that, I end up with more trials, but they're less qualified because they're just signing up for a trial to look at the proposal, and then once they see what a proposal looks like, then they abandon, right? I've seen that sort of impact where upfront it looks like I'm getting more to the I am getting more people to the next step of the funnel, but eventually it doesn't convert as well. In this case, I think it works better. I get more customers because I am getting that many more trials, and I still engage them with email, and there's all sorts of stuff that happens after the trial, right? Especially with email, that makes it more likely that I'll get them at least, get them to try it and get them a little bit deeper into it, to where they eventually convert into paying customers.
Right.
But that's just me guessing, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you tend to do a lot of that just to try and figure out what works and what doesn't.
Right.
So by the time this has popped up, have you already gotten my email address then on your side?
No, I haven't at this point.
Okay. So then you kind of don't have the opportunity to recapture me if I don't fill this out the rest of the way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things I always really like to talk about is pricing. And
Mhm.
you've got on the front page, you have, the $261 million in revenue that your customers have closed or have sealed because of the proposal. Um,
Yep.
Now, that seems disconnected because you're billing by the month, but you know what the revenues are. Have you considered
Mhm.
doing billing by like a performance-based billing where it's per
Um,
proposal?
yeah. Yeah. That's come up a couple of times, and each time has been met with. It sounds like a really good idea, but the resistance is pretty strong to that.
Yeah, and I imagine that your
Um,
numbers would have to be a lot higher to make the same revenue if you tied it that way.
right.
That makes sense.
Part of the problem is that people are not. There's a bit of uncertainty about how much, like even if they think about how much money they're making on their projects and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they don't know exactly how much that is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or how many proposals, or it's a little bit unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems to be part of the resistance.
And it looks like every one of these comes with an unlimited number of proposals too. And that's really cool because that's really what Bidsketch is all about.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually split testing this right now. So there's another page. I was wondering which one you were going to get. I'm split testing per user pricing.
Ah, okay. Okay. If I reload this, would it show me the per user pricing or is it just per
No,
session?
because that's set at the home page.
Okay.
So you are cookied there, and then the rest of the site just reflects whatever it is that you got at the home page.
Okay. This is very cool, and I know you've been really active in the bootstrapping circles. So you put a lot of thought into this, and I've seen you at the Big and Biz Conf, and I think some of the other conferences you've been active with. So there's not a whole lot I can come in and say, hey, this is something we could do better because you've really done a lot of optimization so far. Can you tell me a little bit about you do A/B testing on all of this, obviously,
Yeah.
um, and has that been effective for you?
Doing split testing?
Yeah, I mean, does it give you a return, like say the time you put into it, is it worthwhile to spend on it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Always try to have some sort of test going.
Mm-hmm.
Need to, like right now, there is no test on the homepage, but I literally just finished that test. So, it's going to take a little bit of time for me to come up with a new test. But yeah, I mean, it's oftentimes many of the tests don't result in anything or actually negative results. But the ones that win out, or obviously that's a good thing,
Yeah,
right? And I go
yeah.
with those.
Okay. We have well, let's go through the features. Now, you call this a features page and not a benefits page. Is that
Right.
intentional?
Um, Actually, I haven't tested that or given much thought to that. Actually, it used to be a tours page, um, and really the only reason I changed it to features was time way back when I was doing live chat. From time to time, I'd have people asking me to see where they could see the features.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, okay, this is the features page, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then you said in here, it doesn't really give you a full view of what the proposal looks like, but you have these small snippets.
Yeah, you can click on the image, to make it bigger. Probably
Okay.
it could be a use of some sort of icon or something to let people know that you could do that, right?
Mm-hmm. This is very cool. All right, so we have a demo account, and let me pull up the details for that. Nope. This is going to give us the first run experience.
Yeah, so each person that signs up gets their own unique URL. So you would go to the unique URL like from the email.
Okay.
In here, this is like when you can't remember.
Oh, I see.
Right.
And then that's going to pull up the URL. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to do the first run experience, and we're just going to log in, and this will be what it looks like the first time after you've paid, or you don't pay yet, you've just done free trial, and now this is what you get involved with.
Yep.
Cool, and you've done plenty of A/B testing on this side of things as well?
A bit of it, not a whole ton.
Okay.
So for certain things, yes.
Okay, so I'll fill it out with my details so it's accurate. We run a consulting firm, and we don't need to import anything yet. So I like how nice and clear this is. There isn't a whole lot of extra in here, so that's really nice. It keeps it really focused.
There is a split test running right now, so I'm wondering what the next page is that you'll get.
Okay. Now, since this is all prepaid, or pre-collecting of revenue, that was a little bit slow there. Is that a concern of yours? Is that something you're tracking?
Yeah. It's gotten slower, so definitely need to look into what's going on with that.
Yeah. All right, this is cool. So we've got, this is a nice tour that you've put together. Ooh. I really like this, Ruben. This is cool. Oh. All right, so you popped up that yellow at the top. I missed the tour completely. I had no idea that I had to interact with the thing at the bottom. I just saw the thing at the top that said continue. So that might be a small thing.
It's interesting. So the pop-up there said, I don't remember exactly what it said. Something about it being a tour, to click on the accept button to see what it's like to when a client accepts, right? You didn't really read that or see that?
No, not at all. And I'm here. This is what we're doing, is we're talking about the site, and we didn't see that at all. I saw the continue button, and I thought that would then take away that yellow bar at the top and let me interact with the content at the bottom. If it had said close, that would have made a whole lot more sense, and it would have avoided it.
Actually, the next, and this isn't working. So this next page is not working right now. So probably when I set up this current split test, I broke something about it, because what would happen now is that you would actually start the tour.
Okay. And is there any way to kick that off?
Not supposed to. So you go to account. So I definitely have to look into that. That would kind of explain some of the early results that I'm seeing right now, which is that damn. So now I have to rerun the test.
Well, see, already useful.
Yeah, because it's super useful. What I'm seeing is that, and I'm pretty sure I tested this too after releasing to production. So I wonder what happened. People that get, basically the way that it's supposed to work is that you start the tour. The difference in the test is that one version takes you to that landing page that you saw, right? And the other version does not.
Okay.
Is more direct start to the tour. And the reason why is because after talking to customers, like most customers, for them it clicks when they see a complete proposal like that.
Okay.
And when they see the electronic signature feature, which is the other thing I'm trying to push people to. But yeah, so anyway, for people that are seeing that landing page, they're not completing as many proposals as the people that are going through the other version. It's probably because the tour is broken. They're not going through the tour.
Yeah. Makes a little difference.
I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It should be better. But I'm used to kind of like A/B tests, giving me like results that I don't expect. So I'm like, better think of something else. Okay, yeah. So you just start tour now.
So we'll click on that, and then this will take me back to that first. Okay, so we'll have to hit yes, start the tour. I'm actually going to read it this time. I think the problem is I'm not reading because we're kind of on the phone. I'm just trying to talk to you about it. So this is different then. This is not what we saw the first time. That was a example, and we don't have access to that again.
You can go to maybe if you click back, it'll run that page again. Try it. So back and then back.
Yep, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, do you see how that makes it really? You see that just pops in. I think the animation kind of contributes to that as well. But I can interact down here, and that bar, I'm very tempted to hit continue. If it was a little X up here on the right, then it would make it clearer that I could actually interact down here. Oh wow, these do look great. So then optional fees. Great. Okay. Yeah, even if this was on the bottom, that might make a little difference.
Yeah, so I'll make a couple changes before rerunning it since I have to redo it anyways.
Yeah. We'll just go through a sample proposal here then real quick, just so that we can sort of expose this. I don't know if you have any other videos that walk through this, but it's neat because this is the first time I'm seeing this as well. So this would be startup teardown, and this is a live demo. And I'm not really sure what to pick here. And this is still part of the tour as far as I know. So we'll call it a proposal. Oh, neat. Now, it would be neat if that pop-up popped up when I clicked into here so that I knew, but that's really hard to do with the native UI elements.
Yeah. When you click on the template dropdown, you mean?
Yeah, when you click on the template dropdown here, because I don't know what these options are, it's really hard to know what I should pick. And again, it's a little different trying to do this while we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
But it's, I just kind of guessed that I want it to be a proposal and not an estimate. And I did see that pop up when this came up, but I hit close, and now I'm looking at it, and I don't really know what these are. But I'm going to hit continue anyway and try to find that out. Yeah, I'm not sure how effective the pop-ups are because I just want to dismiss them, interact, and then I have to remember what was in the pop-up, but I have no way to get it back.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how to address that. But those pop-ups, because it's taking up the whole page, it makes it really hard to do anything other than click the close button. When what I'm really interested in is the stuff that's in here, all these the content that I can customize.
Yeah, the thing is, it's done that way so that you're forced to read it, right? Or just click on close without reading it, I guess.
Yeah.
But trying to direct people to start a proposal without this, these pop-ups in this tour, that I've split tested, and I just get more, customers, and I get more people creating proposals, more engagement, activation, and all that stuff with that.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting. I guess because you're forcing them to interact maybe right away. But all your customers seem like they're very smart people, so it's not a case of a lack of intelligence or anything like that. It's just maybe we're used to clicking on things.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder if maybe there's, I could do a sort of a tour that kind of maybe sticks to the top or something. You know what I mean?
Well, it would be really neat if it was kind of like highlighting as I came down. Is there any reason that you do this less and more thing on each of these and don't just have them all open?
Because depending on the amount of content in the proposal templates that people have, it could be a lot. It could be just a ton of content, and then they'd be scrolling forever to get to the section that they want to edit.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just thinking on the first run, it's neat to have the content all exposed right away. I'm not going to customize anything. We'll keep this somewhat quick. Okay, see, I like this. This goes right into fees, and that's nice because it's attached to a specific field. So select one of the fees, and the fee name will be, I guess we just have to pick this. Okay. So is there any way to see how this interacts, there's no preview where I can see how it's building up as I go through each of these?
Not until, I mean, it's on the preview page, but not at the same time that you're actually adding the content.
Oh, that's interesting. So did you see what I did there?
No, it was choppy, so I didn't catch that.
Okay, so what happened here is I put in this consulting fee, and then I continue down here when I really need to click save here. So is there, like, if that was a save and continue, that probably makes sense. But it popped up and said the form on this is not empty. Are you sure you want to leave the page? And that wasn't the clearest. So it's funny. These are all small little usability tweaks, but I'm not sure how it would affect the conversion rates. I guess you really need to get people to convert these or to create a proposal successfully on the first try to get that conversion rate to go up.
Yeah. So what part of it wasn't clear?
So if we go back,
yeah,
I'll pull that up again.
Was it the dialogue, or basically it wasn't clear that you were supposed to click on save?
That I was supposed to click on save.
Got it.
Because it's on the left here and all the other buttons to move forward are on the right, that makes a difference. I probably would have seen it if it was there, but even then, I may have skipped it. One thing that might help is if you move it over to the right, and then if you give it this same green highlight, like the close button, because I'm already forced to use the close button, then I know I'm going to click on this close button, and then if it's the same color, I would easily see that. So then I hit save.
Basically calling it out more.
Yep. Oh, so then I can jump to the preview. Cool, and that lets you change the format of it and everything else. So how many people successfully create proposals after they sign up for a trial? Are the rates pretty high on that?
I think with the guided tour, it was something like about 70%.
Okay. And do you find that with that 70%, it's pretty critical that, is there anyone that signs up and actually pays for account without creating a proposal?
So I just changed the flow to not ask for a credit card up front.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still kind of early for that sort of data, but the other way where I did ask for a credit card up front, yes. There are people that would pay for it even if they hadn't created a proposal yet, with the intention of, you know, basically using it for a future proposal, or adopting it fully after they get the team on board or whatever. I've had conversations with customers that have held like, oh yeah, I'm been meaning to get around to it, like after month 3. It's not the more common thing that happens, but it does happen. And then they're almost like using some of these people are almost like using the charge as an incentive for them to get going, which was interesting.
Yeah.
So that's all changed now that I don't ask for a credit card up front, and so I don't think that'll happen that much this way.
Okay. Well, I'll be really curious to see how that turns out for you, and I'll probably ping back to see how that's worked out. Well, that's pretty much everything. We've gotten through a proposal. We've gotten through the first run. There's some small tweaks. It looks like there's some things that you'll need to adjust on your end. And as far as I'm concerned with the tours, when I go through those things, I usually just close all the things right away and try to figure it out. But it does look nice, and I like how you can change the design styles here really quickly. This design change thing makes a big impact to me as a user. Probably a bigger impact than you would think, because it's just a silly thing of how it looks. But that's a huge emotional thing for when I'm going to buy this. If I'm going to commit to buy, what's it look like? Can I send this? Because it's going to be my company, my proposals. I'm sending these out, and I want it to look as professional as I can. So small little looks like that probably make a bigger difference than it might seem.
Yeah, it probably is also part of the reason why people say that when they hit this page, or when they see it complete, right? That it clicks for them.
Yeah, and this is, I think, now this might be actually the strongest sales page in your whole sales process, is this sample page viewing the proposal, because you get to change the way it looks, and you can go back and you can change all the content. And we didn't do a whole lot. I just used all the defaults there, but I can see how it'd be really, really useful.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, though, when put up way at the front, right, of the funnel, right, like how I was doing before, by having them enter their email address and all that stuff, it doesn't perform as well.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, there needs to be a little bit of, maybe education, context added.
Well, from my side, I can tell you I've had to do some work to get to this point. So now I feel like I own this. I feel like this is a part of my creation. And I'm using Bidsketch as a tool to let me build what is going to be mine. And that might be what it is. If it's just completely generic, but it's got startup teardown right on here, and all the things that we would have had the opportunity to customize, but I didn't want to keep you on the call here for an hour. And now I'm really committed to it. So it would be neat to have and make this a real sales page and put buy now at the bottom and collect a credit card. Give me an opportunity to skip the trial altogether with the buy now little thing right at the bottom to just pay it off. So if the account's in the trial mode, okay, let's buy.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to test. I do have a way to buy now, just not on this page. Also makes me think about probably the next test that I'll do is, change the tour so that instead of making you go through all those pages, you do go through the very first page, to where you enter the name and you select the template, and then you immediately go to this instead, right?
So to this page?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically shortcutting that, but then you still go to the pages where you modify the content.
Okay. One thing that might be cool is let me put my title in here. Like, let me do the very basics. Let me put the title, upload a logo if I want to, so the logo would appear there. And then show me this page, have all the content, and then say customize content. So I could customize all the content on top of it. So it gives me the framework of what my thing would look like. It lets me change the design. But then if I want to actually change what it says, that's the next step, and I can get into making it even more my proposal.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant like you do the basic, right? The very first where you enter the title and select the client and all that stuff, and then you go here. So you have some of the basics. I don't have the part where you can modify the content like you were saying. That would be good. But actually, in the next release, that's what we're pushing out. A way to change content from this page.
Well, you already had that. It's just customized content would take me back to the other view. But if I can get to here, see it, and then change it afterwards, then it just seems like it might be a little bit more something that becomes mine. Like I get to make it a little bit mine and then more and more mine.
Oh yeah, but if you change it right now, like if you want to customize the content, you can't customize the content from this page, right?
Oh, right. You have to go back, but you still can get it done.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Well, if there's anything else, I think we've covered pretty much everything. Actually, let's take a look. So now you're in the trial. How do you actually convert? We've gone through this. How do you convert to paid? Start plan now up at the top?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. And what's that bring up? Now, the plan details. It looks like since you set this up, this is just a starter plan. How comes I can't go up to the higher plans here?
This is per user pricing.
So this is different than what we saw on the home page. Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Thank you very much, Ruben. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover? Anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I think that would be it. This was useful. It was cool seeing you walk through that.
Oh,
so, cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it.